Welcome back, guys. Today I have the pleasure of being with Olivier once again. And today we're going to give you some kind of like nuggets on how you're going to be able to get out of your hellhole loop where you see the same results over and over again in health, wealth, relationships, and how Olivier was able to go from anti-social media to being able to generating a 5-figure per month online coaching business in 6 months. He was able to attract 8-figure deals, and how I went from shy and timid kid, very skinny, loser with the ladies, completely broke and minus 5K in the bank account to becoming a multi-dimensional successful entrepreneur and being invited in podcasts in Europe, Africa, and the USA, and helping thousands of people today. The main word that I want you to understand throughout this entire podcast is identity. Now, when you change your identity, over time, there's going to be a lag of time from your identity to the change of your reality. Spirituality, quantum physics has proven that when you change your identity, progressively over time, you're going to change your reality. Now, the way I want you to conceptualize this is you see your identity as a thermostat and your reality as your own little terrarium. Let's say, for instance, your terrarium and your thermostat was at minus 40 degrees. So there was ice, there was snow, there was penguins, there was polar bears. There weren't necessarily a lot of greens. There weren't necessarily a lot of flowers. Now that represents your old you, your old identity, the old self where your reality is shit basically and there's nothing growing. Now what you want to do is go from minus 40 degrees to 0 degrees. You want to change the thermostat of the terrarium. And you understand that if you want to change the animals and the flora of the terrarium, you then need to first change the thermostat. And the thermostat is your identity. So you go from minus 40 to 0 degrees, and progressively over time, the terrarium changes. The temperature in the terrarium changes. But it's not instant. It's not the physical manifestation of your thermostat alignment is not instant. This is what you need to understand when it comes to your identity and physical reality in terms of manifestation. And Olivier is going to speak about that. When you change from minus 40 to 0 degree, the snow is progressively going to melt. The ice is going to progressively melt as well. Maybe the penguin or the animals that were used to the minus temperature are now fleeing the place. But it's a progressive, gradual process. And there's going to come to a place, I don't know if any of you has lived in a very cold country. I've lived in Canada for like 6 years. And I know I have a few Canadian clients and people who live in a few very cold areas in the United States following us today. But you know that when you go from one day minus 20 degrees where there is a lot of ice, a lot of snow, and then the other day 1 degree, 2 degrees, 3 degrees, you see that the ice and the snow that was there kind of like melted into a slush, a very dark slush and like crassy slush. And it doesn't look good, right? When you had the snow, the initial environment, it looked somewhat harmonious. It was your physical reality before was harmonious. But then with the slush, with everything that happens, well, it doesn't look good, right? It looks disharmonious. There's a lot of disharmony happening, and it doesn't look good. That's the same thing that is going to happen in your life as you switch identity. You feel like you're losing friends without gaining new ones. You feel like nobody understands you. Well, there's still not enough momentum going on for you to see results. You feel lost. This is the part what we call the gray area psychologically. This is the part where it's the hardest. It's absolutely the hardest. That's why you need to be alone. You need to work on yourself. You need to be alone, and you need to constantly have faith in the process, because you understand this analogy of thermostat and terrarium. Progressively over time, the room temperature of the terrarium, your physical reality, changes over time. But it takes time because you decided as a soul to incarnate into this third dimensional realm with challenges and bullshit happening. But you know that this third dimensional realm is also constrained by time, by the illusion of time. Whether you want to call it illusion or not, it still is happening in the material world. And you need to play the game. This is where you need to be patient with your results. When you know that you're constantly inputting in the right identity every single day, you can basically constantly over time, be sure that the physical reality and the manifestation of your physical reality is going to happen inevitably. So you don't even have to worry about that. It's just a matter of inputting in the right identity field, mentally, physically, and spiritually. So from -40 to 0, you start to have this transition where all is shit. And then from 0 to 40 degrees, let's say for instance, -40 degrees was your old self, no result, the brokest self, what I was before and what Olivier also struggled with before. 0 degrees is basically, okay, the baseline. Now you're open up and you're ready to elevate to your God self. Well, from 0 to 40 degrees, 40 degrees being your highest self. Now, you turn that up. From 0 to 40 degrees, you have new microbes, new bacteria that are happening in your terrarium. They're invisible at the seen eye. Remember, you only see 0.0035% of the entirety of the electromagnetic spectrum, which means what? Which means that it's arrogant and ignorant for you to base yourself only on your physical eyes. There's much more than meets the eyes. There's energy, there's frequency, there's vibration, there's much, much more. This is what we're speaking about, how to apply metaphysics, quantum physics, and spirituality onto something very concrete, which is prosperity and your physical reality. Coming back to my terrarium analogy, microbes, bacteria start to form. Even fungus, like networks of fungus deep in the roots, deep in the earth, starts to produce themselves. But the thing is this, you still don't see it, right, with your physical eyes. Then you have some insects or some small animals happening and that come to your terrarium. Those are the things that you start to see, the small synchronicities, the small miracles, the small manifestations that you start to see. That could typically be people treating you with more respect, you having better opportunities, or a few dollars coming out of thin air, or for instance, you starting to attract better girls, better partners, health, wealth, relationship wise, you feeling better, you losing that weight, you building more muscle out of nowhere, or you having better hormones that are stabilized. Those are the little things. And then over time, progressively over time, as the terrarium gets better in room temperature and gets to 20 degrees Celsius. By the way, it was Celsius all along. 20 degrees Celsius, 30 degrees Celsius, 40 degrees Celsius. Then, and you keep having that, then you have the animals coming in that are liking this temperature in the savannah, for instance, right? The lions, elephants, whatever you want to call it, that are coming into your terrarium. And those are obviously big, visible animals. And those represent the visible manifestation, the things that you truly want as a result. That could be the supercar. That could be, the big $1 million contract. That could be the beautiful Russian girlfriend that happens to just be magnetically attracted to you. And you developing naturally, without more effort, your dream body. So all of this to say that you need to remember that your identity is your thermostat. And cannot be outer world change without inner world change. But once you know how to continuously put the thermostat every single day at the right temperature with the right identity, shifting every single day into the right identity, feeling and embodying the right identity every single day, then inevitably your terrarium will start to change. You will gradually see progress and you will have the physical reality that you desire. This in of itself, this analogy will help you to develop inevitable faith, understanding that if every single day you do your best to embody the right identity corresponding to the right reality, which has been proven in quantum physics with the observer effect, you will see success. Now, Olivier, I want to ask you, from everything that you've discovered working with me, your own experience, what do you think would be the most important belief system to have, and what was your mindset going into developing your own personal brand, and how come you in 6 months were able to achieve what most online coaches dream about?
It's simple. First of all, it starts with your belief system. When you look at yourself in the morning, in front of the mirror, what do you say to yourself? I'm shit. I will never make it. I'm not good enough. All that bitchy voice that says that you are not good enough. If you spend all your time to self-sabotage yourself, unfortunately, you will never make it. But If you start your day by being delusional, absolutely delusional, you will have that self-confidence to do some action, to make some move that will direct you to great results. Why do I say that? Because most of you spend all your life, your 30s, your 40s, even your 50s, you spend all your life to
So
self-sabotage.
you spend your life self-sabotaging.
You self all your life self-sabotaging yourself. So don't be shocked when your physical reality is shit. Even if you don't see miracles or you don't have any reason to be positive, to be optimistic about the future, you have to act internally like the 10.0 version of you that sees everything happen, every miracles. Because from that perspective, you will notice that people will start to respect you more. They will approach you. They will ask you some question about your morning routine, about your physique, about everything. Because the more you work on yourself behind the closed door, the more you have a chance to make it in life. Yeah, I know that sounds counterintuitive, but no, you are you are a demigod. You can create everything you want in your life. So personally, even if from when I was 15 years old to 25 years old man, I was anti-social media, like Hugo said, but I always, fortunately, I've always had self-belief in myself because I'm a lawyer, at least I have my degree, but I was like, okay, if I'm from a poor family and I was able to obtain this degree, that means I can do anything. Because when you are in law school, you see some people who always believe that they belong here. But it was not the case for me initially. So I had to brainwash myself with positive programming, with affirmation, with my body. Yeah. When I started to work on my body in front of the mirror, I I constantly repeated myself that I will make it. I got what it takes. You know, every positive affirmation that I could repeat to myself, I did, and it helped me in the physical world when it comes to law school, when it comes to dealing with diplomat, with all those people, because even if from a physical perspective, from monetary perspective, I didn't belong in those environment. In my mind, I belonged. So I didn't give a fuck about judgment, about my family background. I was like, I get what it takes. So if you don't see my value now, you will see next. You will catch up soon.
So it's all about embodying the identity that you already want. And you'll realize that there's two paths when it comes to your incarnation on this earth. First path is obviously the path of accomplishments, supercars, Russian model, whatever physicality you're trying to attract or reveal in your life. But the true path that will make you satisfied with yourself, that will truly change how you feel on a day-to-day basis, is the path of transcendence, is the path of elevation. who you are in the inside world, which is why you see all these multimillionaires and billionaires that are fat, that are getting cheated on by their wife, and they know they are unidimensional motherfuckers. They know they only have the money. They're not multidimensional. They're not following through their path, the soul's path that they have laid out for them, because you have basically a general soul's path and you have a specific soul's path. The general soul's path is really and truly for you to become the best version of yourself. That's a given, right? It's like you elevating to the highest level of your physical materialization, whether it's spiritually, mentally, or physically, right? But also you have a specific soul's path, whether it's, you having a mission, a humanitarian mission, you building that business, you having that impact in a certain area of your life. But in of it itself, for you to find your specific, you need to first go into the general soul's path, which is elevating into every single aspect of your life, which is why we dedicated our time, Olivier on his channel and me on this channel, to help you become a multidimensional winning individual. Because you do not want to end up like these multimillionaires and billionaires that are absolutely depressed under antidepressant. By the way, this speaks from a guy that has had over 400 clients one-on-one, and a lot of the multi-millionaire clients that I've had were under antidepressant, were miserable in their lives because they lacked this alignment, mental, spiritual, and physical alignment. The thing that will solve your depression, that will cure your depression, your suicidal thoughts, will be always elevation in consciousness, okay? You need to elevate your consciousness. And the fact that you're listening to this video and to us and taking notes, as most of you guys do, and even going to sleep with these videos, as a lot of you guys do as well, is how you're going to reprogram your human brain into elevating itself and opening up your consciousness to a better identity. And when you open yourself up to the possibility of a better identity, by the way, you watching us operate through this video helps you activate a better identity, because you have mirror neurons in your brain. And this is why you feel so inspired when you see people, that are your age or with the same background or the same potential doing so good, because you are feeling motivated, because it activates within you also as well a next level of identity. So the fact that you're watching this video today is also by us operating, you're elevating your identity. So that's why the most of you that are watching my videos over and over and over again, you don't even are aware of this. You're not even aware of this, but you are actually quantum jumping your consciousness over and over again by the sole fact that you're seeing us operate and speak and stuff like that. But anyway, the point being, you need to realize that your brain is either your biggest ally or your biggest enemy. Why? Because it is literally a filter of reality. Your consciousness is not of the brain, it's outside of the brain. This is what they've proven with quantum physics, this is what they've proven with near-death experiences, and this is what they've proven overall with all of the latest science that is happening today. So the point being is that you need to realize that you are not your brain, you're outside of your brain, but your brain serves as a filter of reality. And you decide if it's a good filter or a bad filter. That all depends on your self-perception of self, your self-concept, your identity. And neurologically and scientifically, what happens is your identity and how you perceive yourself to be will naturally align the opportunities and the filter and the things that you see in your real life, because your reticular activating system is literally the part of your brain that filters out reality and filters out what elements of reality you see. So if you see yourself as a gym goer, you're naturally going to start to be more aware of the nutritional table on the things that you buy. If you see yourself as a millionaire, you're naturally going to see, how much is this worth? How can I invest in this opportunity? How can I connect with this investor? So you see, it's naturally, scientifically and neurologically, your identity determines what you see and what you perceive in your reality, what type of opportunities you perceive in your reality. Innovate itself, helping you act on those opportunities and innovatively creating a different result in your life. But as we've explained with Olivier, the fact that he was able to see success, drastic success, 8-figure deals, 5 figures per month online business when he started with zero experience so quickly compared to all these other guys that are spending years on trying to do something, is because he already had and embodied the identity first principle. Most people focus on taking the action first, which doesn't work, because you're going against your emotions, going against your belief systems, your paradigms of the world, and your self-concept and your identity, which is why it will never work. But in the case of Olivier, he already saw himself as that person, and it was inevitable in his mind that he took the actions aligned with this identity getting him the results quite quickly. And if you remember one of my videos where I explained the equation of the delta of your wealth, which is basically determining the height of your frequency, the intensity of your confidence, and then the number of anomaly actions that you're taking, this is exactly what Olivier has applied. He was operating from a high frequency every single day because he has his morning routine elevating him every single day. He had extreme intensity of confidence, and he took the anomaly action, a shit ton of massive anomaly action, which inevitably led to a difference in his wealth. When I say it like this, it's a delta, right? The delta, which is basically the Greek symbol for difference in wealth compared to many of his competitors in his niche that are there for years on end. Okay, so you need to understand, once you change your identity, inevitably you're going to change your self-concept, your paradigms of the world, your belief system, your emotions, and therefore every single action that you take every single day. The outside world cannot match the inner world and cannot create a dissonance on a long period of time with the inner world. It will always fall back to how you perceive yourself. So if you're trying to lose weight, if you're trying to build a jack body, if you're trying to get better relationship, more money and more prosperity in your life, you first need to change your identity, which is what this channel is dedicated to help you do. With more esoteric knowledge, the knowledge for the initiated, with a better elevation of consciousness, with a better frequency, naturally, with this better information, you're going to change your identity over time.
Yeah, if you aim to create content, to create your personal brand, and unfortunately, if you don't believe in yourself, you're fucked.
Yeah.
From the beginning. Why? Because people will relate to you if you can articulate your story, your trials, your tribulation, with so much confidence, with so much intensity, passion, that they're like, okay, I need that guy, I need that woman, because she understands me, and I think she can. I think he or she can give me her protocol.
Yeah, her guidelines, her protocols.
She can give me a protocol, a guideline to make it happen for myself. So when it comes to online business, you have to list every qualities, every advantages that you can brag about, and you have to capitalize on it. Because if you let yourself be programmed by the society, unfortunately, you will end up miserable, depressed, and you will be like, damn, at 75 years old, why I didn't
Take more risks.
Yeah, I didn't take more risk. Why I didn't do that. Yes. So from now, not on January 1st, 2026, from now, list everything you can do, because your voice counts online. People need you. If you have been through some stuff that you found a solution for yourself, then you can teach it to others. That's simple. But it all starts with self-belief, and you will make it. If you have a roadmap and you are consistent enough to do the work, even when it's not convenient, even when you don't want it, even when you're tired, you get what it takes.
Exactly. To conclude, remember this, guys. Physics, quantum physics, metaphysics, spirituality, philosophy, neuroscience, NDEs, near-death experiences, OBEs, out-of-body experiences, has all proven the same thing. Your outside world is a reflection of your inner world. There cannot be a change in the physicality, which is a vibrational plane that is lower, if there's no change in the mental and spiritual plane, aka your identity, how you perceive yourself, which are the plane of higher vibrations. So it all comes down to your understanding of the fabric of reality and how you can apply this in your life to start seeing every aspect of your life change. which is why Olivier told you, look at the reality that you're trying to achieve. Everybody can have goals. The difference between winners and losers when it comes to them getting the goals is the identity that they constantly input in every single day. Look at the goals that you are trying to achieve, the reality that you're, the physical materialization of your reality that you're trying to achieve. Revert back, reverse engineer that. What identity do I need to have to make this reality inevitably attractive and inevitably happen in my life? Because your reality is like your girlfriend, is like a girl. Who do you need to become to be attractive to that the girl? Who do you need to become and evolve into to be attractive to that reality? Once you have that reality, then start embodying it now. Don't wait until you have the perfect circumstances. You'll never will. List all the physical traits. List how this person thinks, how this person feels, how this person speaks, and how this person acts. And start listing all of that. I want you to give 10 examples of think, feel, speak, and act. 10 qualities. And you start to embody it over and over again. Every single day you wake up and every single night you go to sleep, you relook at this quality list and you are embodying this version of yourself, because you need to realize that you are from the source. You are not a human experience. You are not a human being having a spiritual experience. You're a spiritual being having a human experience. You are infinite by default. Therefore, if you're infinite consciousness, you can take any role you like. This life is just a video game. It's just you decide which character you want to play and which role you want to play. Once you decide that, you can then change your reality and the results in your life. Like your video game, like your RPG, you decide which class you want, you decide which stats you want to up level and which weapon you want to get for you to decide which results you want in the game. It's as simple as that. So change your identity like the thermostat progressively over time. I know you need to be patient. We are impatient individuals as well. We are working on that because we are always on the go. We like to produce. We like to be always on the go and always something happening. But you need to be patient because this dimension, the 3D dimension, or at least planet Earth, is bound by a certain lag of time. So don't worry. If you know that you're changing your identity and you're embodying the correct identity every single day, it will inevitably and ineluctably be happening in your physical reality, and the physical reality will match that identity. So guys, as always, take notes, re-listen to this video over and over again, send your notes in the comments, let me know how you're going to apply this in your life. Share with the community as well the lists of quality in think, feel, speak, and act in the comments. That way people can interact with each other. We are all a community of anomalies that are elevating to the highest state of consciousness to attract the best reality possible. Guys, as always, love you all. See you soon. Ciao, ciao.